Actions to do if a lady don't reply to your proposal. The first thing, like the genesis, the word, suspense, means the unpleasant emotion of anxiety or apprehension in an uncertain situation. It is also an apprehension of what is going to happen. To propose means to ask for a person's hand in marriage. Actions to do if a lady don't reply to your proposal means things to perform upon. Thou as a man propose to a lady, but the lady keeps you in suspense by not replying to the proposal. This means that the lady friend decides not to make a decision of not accepting or rejecting the proposal, thereby making the man who love her not to know whether he is loved or not, or whether he will be loved or not. Being kept in suspense may be better than being disappointed if the disappointment would lead to negative consequences to one's well-being. On the contrary, to others, being kept in suspense may be worse than being disappointed. According to Robert Burns, suspense is worse than disappointment. The following are the actions to do if a lady don't reply to your proposal. Firstly, limit expectations of having the lady friend as a romantic partner. In this context, lower your expectations to limit your disappointments. A man may love a lady friend to the point of obsession, but it will all be in vain if never in a million years will the lady love that man in return. Lowering expectations to limit disappointment arising from rejection or receiving the negative news that a love proposal has been rejected will make one early in advance to be able to manage and recover from the reality that a particular lady does not love a specific man up to the romantic extent. The quote of Douglas Adams states that, "A life that is burdened by expectations is a heavy life, its fruit is sorrow and disappointment." According to Sri Chinmoy, peace begins when expectations end. Secondly, manage too much anxiety by limiting your anxiousness. In accordance with the VoCapture program, the word anxiety means an unpleasant state of mental uneasiness, nervousness, apprehension and obsession or concern about some uncertain event. It is also an uneasy or distressing desire for something. In this context, it may be an uneasy desire for possessing the lady friend who a man loves as a romantic partner, but not just every lady friend who a man meets will accept a marriage proposal. Anxiety in this context can be managed through loving and valuing oneself first, limiting expectations and channeling one's attention and concentration to improving one's aspects of life. Thirdly, it is important, like an entity of necessity, to direct more attention and concentration to the pursuit of goals, talents and passions. These activities makes one's mind to be preoccupied with works to be done and creativity to be developed. Is when one's anxiety of waiting for either a positive or negative response to a love proposal will be managed when one is busy, crowded with more important activities to perform and for more times. There is a quote which is similar to the collection of words which states that the way of overcoming disappointment is to have a lot going on. The fourth thing to perform after this scenario is avoiding relying on the lady for happiness. In addition, don't rely on people for happiness for the reason that it is impossible to find people who can love and not cause some disappointments. According to Mandy Hale, happiness is an inside job. Don't assign anyone that much power over your life. Perfect relationships between people are difficult to find because it is obvious, like what can be conspicuous for a normal human being, to have some imperfections which contribute to making one not to be characterized as perfect. The fifth action to perform is to avoid over-pursuing the lady through calls, messages or texts when you notice more signs of disinterest, meaning that the lady is not interested in being in a romantic relationship with thou. Over-pursuing a lady who is not romantically interested to a man normally leads to consequences such as a man's texts, messages or calls not being answered, the man being ghosted and experiencing rejection, disapproval, displeasure, dissatisfaction, disappointment, feeling despised and not being respected, and much more negativities. True love cannot be found where it does not exist, nor can it be denied where it exists. Being alone in the required context, in addition to channeling attention to oneself, makes one's well-being powerful. The sixth law of power is about courting attention at all cost, which is explained as making sure that you are always in the spotlight. The more attention you can draw to yourself, the more power you will have. The sixth thing to perform is taking care of one's well-being. Well-being is a state of health, happiness, or prosperity. The seventh thing to perform is to move on with life in order to avoid preoccupying one's entire attention with the state of living in suspense, and also know that she is not the only lady in the world who you can chase after for love.